Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Scouting 5, recapping scouting news from around the world for the week of February 3rd, 2025. I'm Scouter Ken, and I'm once again recording from St. Albert, Alberta. First up, a little bit of follow-up from the last episode that we did. Scouter John from North Carolina wrote in and had the following suggestion regarding trailers and gear that keep getting stolen. Quote, "Your January 20th podcast had another sad story of a unit having their trailer stolen by a lowlife. Can I suggest that units put an Apple AirTag in or on all of their trailers? Take one of the brake lights apart, put it in there, and no one will ever find it. These things cost about $25 USD each." End quote. Not a bad suggestion. AirTags are certainly a very robust means of tracking all manner of things. I've heard of people recovering lost luggage using their AirTags. So yeah, not a bad suggestion. I don't know what the battery life on an AirTag is. I assume it's good, but I've never actually played with the technology all that much, so I don't know with any certainty what they're actually capable of doing in terms of, how long they last and all of that kind of stuff. But if you could, commit to making sure that the AirTag is reasonably charged, then yeah, I suppose that would be a very, very valid way of keeping track of your trailer. It wouldn't necessarily solve the problem completely. I mean, if the trailer gets stolen, I don't know if AirTags can notify you if they're stationary for a long time and then start to move. Again, haven't played with them at all, but maybe that would be a way. If they could do that kind of alerting, that would be really, really handy as an anti-theft tool. It wouldn't necessarily be the case that you would get all the gear back, of course, because if the thieves were quick about it, they could, try and offload some of the gear, even if they weren't able to offload the trailer before you were able to apprehend them. But better than nothing. So thanks, Scouter John. Interesting suggestion. And hey, are you interested in becoming the next Secretary General of the World Organization of the Scouting Movement? Quoting scout.org. Scouting is the world's leading educational youth movement, empowering 57 million young people and volunteers to be active global citizens and agents of change in their communities. Founded in 1907, the Scout movement has continued to grow and is now active in over 200 countries and territories worldwide. We are creating transformative learning experiences for young people everywhere, and we are looking for an inspiring, dynamic leader to step into the role of a Secretary General, a unique opportunity to lead an impactful global organization and help our growing movement empower young people. You will be an exceptional communicator with experience gained in global organizations at executive team level, such as international non-government organizations or other nonprofits of scale and complexity. A track record of working on youth-focused initiatives or in the humanitarian sector would be an advantage. End quote. So I'll include the link in the show notes, but yes, apparently WASM is looking for a new Secretary General, and you can apply now if you're interested, although I imagine that the qualifications are fairly steep. And for as much as I complain on this podcast that scouts around the world, but not so much in North America, do absolutely wonderful work with disaster response, it's really, really edifying to see this particular story coming out of Lyttton, BC, and a scout group there who responded to wildfire victims. Quoting scouts.ca. This season of giving, we celebrate the inspiring efforts of Paul Phillips and the 6th St. Agnes Scouts, who made significant contributions toward the recovery efforts in Lyttton, BC following the devastating 2021 wildfire. This pilot project, driven by Better Programs and the Department of Scouting Experiences, showcases how leadership and thoughtful planning can make a lasting difference and drive positive change. On November 6th, I assume in 2021, the 6th St. Agnes Scouts, 5 venturers, 1 rover, and 3 scouters arrived in Lyttton, a town of 210 residents. Devastated by wildfires in 2021, Lyttton had spent years addressing extensive damage and hazardous materials. By early 2024, I was wrong. As residents began returning to rebuild, the 6th St. Agnes team stepped in to support the recovery process. So, pause quote. This would not have been in November of 2021. Like I said just at the start of the quote, this would have been in November of, 2024. So very recently. Continuing quote, "Through their pilot project, these scouts turned compassion into action, engaging in impactful low-risk activities to aid in rebuilding efforts and strengthen community connections through their collaboration with locals and Indigenous groups. Their efforts not only supported immediate recovery, but also laid the groundwork for lasting change. The 6th St. Agnes Scouts showed dedication and teamwork in Lytton's ongoing recovery. They cleared debris and flammable materials following Fire-Smart BC guidelines, ensuring safer conditions for the community. The team also demolished a hazardous shed to improve safety while extending support to a survivor of the residential school system. Their efforts not only highlight the power of youth as agents of positive change, but also lay the groundwork for future community rebuilding initiatives." End quote. So yeah, really cool to actually see Canadian Scouts now stepping up to come in and help with disaster relief. Admittedly, not immediately in the wake of a disaster. This was 3 years on from when the wildfires happened that devastated this community. But it is cool to see Scouts stepping up to help with rebuilding efforts. More of that, please. And this is a big weekend for the Boy Scouts of America, because I believe on Saturday, to mark their 115th birthday, the Boy Scouts of America, well, actually Scouts BSA, formerly known as the Boy Scouts of America, will now formally be known as Scouts BSA and will officially become Scouting America. And what's cool about that is that in the wake of the rebrand, or just ahead of the rebrand, but probably as a result of it, there's been a small uptick in young people joining the organization, which is certainly a welcome sign. Quoting the AP, a historic rebrand of the Boy Scouts of America has been followed by a small uptick in young people joining what will now be called Scouting America, a welcome sign as the organization tries to move past scandal and bankruptcy. Although the overall gain in membership was small, about 16,000 new Scouts, up less than 2% from the prior year, it is still encouraging for the organization after participation plummeted during the pandemic. The organization has just over 1 million members. Cub Scouts, the youngest scouting level, saw an increase of almost 3%. And although the majority of Scouts are still boys, over 196,000 girls participating in Scouting America's programs last year. More than 8,000 girls have already earned the rank of Eagle Scout. The name change will officially take effect during the weekend birthday celebration when sites across the U.S. will be illuminated in red, white, and blue, including Niagara Falls and the Empire State Building. A redesigned flag with the Scouting America brand will be raised next week at the organization's headquarters in the Dallas suburb of Irving. End quote. And finally, some unfortunate news for the Girl Scouts of Colorado. Quoting Denver ABC, the Girl Scouts of Colorado are facing an unexpected obstacle. Its members worry could impact their annual cookie sales. The strike at Colorado King Soopers stores on Thursday, one of the Girl Scouts' major booth outlets, could cost the group millions in sales. Super Bowl weekend is the busiest time of year for the troop as people flock to grocery stores to prepare for their parties. The Girl Scouts had plans to set up stands at 77 King Soopers locations across Colorado. On Wednesday, the franchise informed the Girl Scouts that they wouldn't be able to set up shop outside the stores during the strike. Leanna Clark, CEO of Girl Scouts of Colorado, says the lost boots will have a noticeable impact on their fundraising efforts. Last year, the Girl Scouts sold 3.7 million packages of cookies statewide, generating approximately $2 million for the girls and their troops. Although the situation is challenging, the Girl Scouts are taking this setback as an opportunity to teach their members valuable lessons in business and resilience. The cookie sales program is about much more than selling cookies. It's about providing girls with a hands-on experience in goal setting, money management, people skills, digital marketing, and decision-making. Girl Scouts of Colorado is reaching out to businesses across the state in an effort to find alternative booth spaces. They're also encouraging troops to get involved by reaching out to businesses on their own. End quote. And that is all the news I have for you this week. Thanks again for listening. Thank you to Scouter John for writing in. And until next time, be prepared.